BBC News, alert. Button.
A boy has died. He's been named as Ahmed al-Jaziri, 16 years old, roughly. And the government is only saying that he has died, that they're investigating it. The opposition is saying he was killed by birdshot fired by the security forces. The government hasn't confirmed that yet. I think today was always going to be a very highly charged day. It's the second anniversary of the February the 14th protests that erupted at what was called Pearl Roundabout 2 years ago, when the Arab Spring was all kicking off. Since then, there's been a simmering insurgency in Bahrain. Well over 50 people have been killed. Opposition activists say it's much higher than that. There is a dialogue going on that's just been sort of restarted between the main opposition party, Al-Wafaq, and the government. And when I spoke last night to an opposition politician, he was actually quite optimistic about this, saying, well, I think this time it could work because the government has appointed a hardliner to conduct their side. Up until now, it's been the Crown Prince, who's considered, frankly, by hardliners in the government as being a little bit soft, actually, and almost too sympathetic to the opposition. So what the Crown Prince has done is back away and said, right, I'm going to get the hardliners to, or somebody who's tough, to bring the government to the table on this one. But when you get events like today, these clashes, and there are probably going to be more burning tires, burning dumpsters, protests, roadblocks, tear gas, all of the stuff that goes on in Shia villages at weekends is going to happen today times two.
And in the light of those talks, the tentative talks that you mentioned, I mean, how polarised has Bahraini society been over the course of the last 2 years?
You put it exactly right. It's very polarised. And when these protests kicked off two years ago, you saw Sunnis turning up to Pearl Roundabout to protest against corruption mostly. They'd like to be better ruled. A lot of the people in Bahrain don't necessarily want to get rid of the ruling family or the system. They would either like a constitutional monarchy, or they're prepared to let the Al Khalifa ruling family stay, but they'd like a lot more accountability, a lot more better distribution of wealth, of land, of jobs, and an end, or at least a reduction, to the enormous corruption.
Window